Welcome back to the Elise Surkov podcast, where we help women in perimenopause and menopause thrive unapologetically from the inside out. All right, I'm super excited today. We're going to talk about where do you actually start? Because it is so fucking overwhelming out there. And I think if there's one common thing I hear from women, like every single day when they DM me, when I'm talking to them on email, SMS, I talk to women everywhere on so many different platforms. And everyone says the same thing. They are so overwhelmed. And I realize that this market is just so like poached, right? It's like everyone and everything is like kind of attacking women in perimenopause. And I gotta say, like, nothing bothers me more than when I have, and I have a lot of colleagues that do this, so shout out to them. But I have a lot of colleagues that like are so young, they're in their 20s and early 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, whatever. And they're like, yeah, it's so hard in perimenopause. And I'm like, I don't think it's fair that you're necessarily representing us when you don't represent us. Now, pause. Don't call me a dick. I'm not. It's like saying like I have a male coach. He doesn't fucking know what it's like to be in perimenopause. I have a male hormone doctor who doesn't know what it's like to be in perimenopause. But these men in particular know a shit ton about hormone regulation, dysfunction. They understand the female body. And so I just feel like everyone is jumping on and trying to fearmonger this demographic of women, which I find myself in. And so part of what I do on social is like debunk as much shit as I can. In fact, I got so much hate on Threads, like, I don't know, 2 days ago, because I recorded a podcast that talked about, if you're in a calorie deficit and you're not losing weight, then you're not in a calorie deficit. And here's why. And I will be the first to say that hormones will affect everything. But at the end of the day, you cannot argue with thermogenesis, thermodynamics. Oh my God, I can't even talk right now. You cannot argue with science and energy expenditure. So if you are saying, I'm only eating 1,400 calories and I'm not losing weight and my hormones are a mess, I'm like, okay, if I took you to a deserted island and gave you 1,400 calories, you would lose weight. So you are not eating what you believe to be 1,400 calories because your hormones are dysregulated. You are eating shit that you don't realize you're eating in other areas of your life or day or weeks or whatever it is. Okay. So I'm not saying that hormones don't affect how you eat, but they're not magically putting weight on you. All right. I got so much hate on this. A lot of them for women that were like, if you knew anything about hormones, and I'm like, I fucking know a shit ton about hormones. But the point is that a lot of women are being told things by women who don't, or influencers or coaches who just don't truly understand where to start or what's important here. And so what I want to do in this episode is really try to relieve some of that overwhelm and tell you exactly where you need to start with all the other bullshit out there. So many women are like, I heard I can't have coffee in the morning because it raises my cortisol, and I have to wear a weighted vest when I walk, and I have to have protein at every single meal. And I'm like, I have women coming in with gut dysfunction, with back problems, and women that are just fucking like missing out on their morning coffee when they don't need to be. So it is so fucking overwhelming over there. Where do you start? All right, let's just back shit up. This is what I do. If you and I were having a conversation right now, I'd say, hey, Elise, how you doing? And then I would just be totally honest and brutally honest and get into it and say, what do you want? What are your goals? How can I make you happy? What are you looking for? So most women will say, I want to lose weight. I hate this menobelly. I'm so uncomfortable in my body. I feel like everything's changed. And I just want to change. I need to lose weight. I want to get strong. I just want to feel good in my clothes. And then I start asking the questions of like, how important is this to you? And how much time can you commit to it? That's a hard one because so many women want everything. Listen, I want to fucking be a millionaire, right? I had a woman tell me that she wasn't going to join the program because she felt like it was a business. She's like, I feel like this is just a business for you and like you're trying to make money. And I'm like, I am trying to make money. This is a business for me because I'm really fucking good at it. So I make money so that I can help more women get out of this fucking disaster that they put themselves in. And I was totally transparent about that. And I said, look, I wish I didn't have to pay for my car. I wish I didn't have to pay for university for my kids. Like there's so many things I wish I didn't have to pay for, but like it is a business, right? We have to do it. So I need to truly understand, like, what are you willing to sacrifice to get those goals? Well, I'll have friends that are like, oh gosh, Elise, like, I love what you do, but like, can you make me skinny without making me change anything in my life? And we laugh about it. I'm like, no, you have to change your habits, right? So if you're someone who's like, I want to lose weight, I want to get stronger, and I want to feel good about myself, but I am not willing to spend a penny to do it, I don't want to get up in the morning or, fit a workout into my workday. You just basically are someone that has a problem. Like for every solution, you are not going to get there. So you're likely not the person I'm talking to today, because that person is probably just not going to listen to this or has turned this off by now because you're probably pissed off at me. But the person who's listening to this right now is you, and you are someone who is like, no, but I want to do that. And I'm scared to change because what was working before all of a sudden stops working. But I'm scared that if I stop doing those things, I'm going to gain even more weight. And so there's a lot of fear there. So you're like, I want to change, but I don't want to change because I'm scared to change. And if you fit into that category, the best place for you to start, if you can invest in yourself, is to hire a coach, hire a professional. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be my team. It can be, hire a personal trainer, go start, go join a gym, go to a class, go to an F45. Like that's a great place to start. If you're like, I need somewhere to start, I need someone or somewhere to be accountable to. Now, at some point, what got you here won't get you there. And so if you're someone who's starting from the very bottom, meaning like, you're not exercising consistently, your diet's all over the place, you have zero boundaries in your life, you're like second guessing every choice you've ever made, pick one thing that you're going to focus on. And I feel over nutrition to focus on strength training and movement. Get yourself stronger. This shit takes the longest time. It will take years. So if you can, register for a class or hire a personal trainer or, join a gym, find an accountability buddy, start walking every day. Just start small. Just do one thing that's going to be different. That would be a great place to start. Okay. Now, if you're someone who's like, I already do that. I already, I'm someone that like, I go to regular classes, I do this thing. You're like, but I can't fucking see muscle and I don't know what's going on and I don't feel good about myself. Then you want to like add in that nutrition piece. Okay. And this is where you can absolutely ask for help. And there's a shit ton of information out there to make this easy for you. I do have a macro guide. I will link it below where you can grab that. You can just like get a little bit of lessons on macros. If you want to take that even more, if you're someone who's like, I want to really truly understand nutrition, I do have a group coaching program that I put into a do-it-yourself program. It's called Functional Macros Academy Online, FMA Online. It runs for $197. You can go ahead and purchase that at my website. I will link that below. It's a 6-week drip course where you're just going to learn macronutrition, carbs, fats, proteins. How do you count macros? There's a macro guide in there to help you calculate that. What do you do? How do you track? How do you track with accuracy? So if you're like, I just need to focus on nutrition because I got the other piece down, that's going to be a great place to start as well. Why I love counting macros and why I love macronutrition is because it's science-based. There's science and there's a lifestyle twist to it. So I say macros is 80% science and 20% lifestyle. It's the perfect mix. Now, if you're someone, which is likely the majority of listeners out there, where you're like, I do everything. I eat clean. I eat protein in every meal. I fucking drink water like it's coming out of my asshole. I walk. I train. I do all these things and I'm not seeing results. Then you are 100%. Well, you've got a couple options here. You can stay in the overwhelm, stay on the hamster wheel where you're just like, I don't know what the fuck to do, and start, continue to like loop yourself on Instagram and YouTube and all the areas of social media, TikTok, where you're just like, this person said this, and this person said this, or you can find one source that you trust. And I certainly hope it's me. But if it's not me, find one source of person or professional that you trust and listen to that person. Okay. So I tuned this back into the year was 2010. My middle was born 2010, right in the middle of H1N1. And that vaccine was going around that like everyone was giving. If you were going to be in a hospital, you needed to have this like vaccine, this H1N1. And so Nathan was born in March, which was the third wave of cold and flu, which was the third wave of H1N1. And they were like, anyone who is giving birth in a hospital during this phase, like really needs to have this vaccine. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do at all. And, everyone was like, you need to give them you need the vaccine. I had never fucking had a flu shot. Right. So I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, do I do the shot? Do I not do the shot? And then the craziest thing was I decided to get the shot because I trusted my doctor. And I was like, you know what? I fucking trust my doctor. Shout out to Dr. Nick. He's the best fucking doctor ever. And he's high risk doctor as well. which means I stayed active, lifted weights till my very end of my pregnancy. But anyways, he was like, I highly recommend you get this because like your son could potentially contract something that is preventable. And so like, why would you want to put your kid at risk? And I was like, you know what? Risks, consequences. I did the math. I was like, I'm going to get the shot. So it's like a Monday morning and I am like, I go to the hospital so fucking pregnant. And I'm like, I'm here for my shot. And they're like, which shot would you like? I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, the government changed their like recommendation on pregnant women for this one shot. There was the adjuvant version and the non-adjuvant version. And like being pregnant, you could not get the adjuvant version. You had to have the non one. And it was like all of a sudden effective Monday morning at 8 a.m. And I was there like at 10. They were like, nope, it's now redeemed safe. And I sat down with this nurse and I said, you've got to fucking be kidding me. I have spent weeks figuring out if I wanted to get this shot. I finally decided. And now you're telling me I'm getting the shot that yesterday was deemed unsafe for pregnancy. Like I was so fucking confused. And she's like, well, it's your choice which one you can get. I'm sorry, what? Like, am I qualified to make this decision? So I left because I was like, I can't make this decision. By the way, spoiler alert, this nurse was with me while I was in labor screaming my face off because Nathan came out in 10 minutes. And she was like, you look familiar because I made her crazy because I was the first pregnant woman that came in and challenged this because they changed the fucking vaccine the day before. So I just made the decision that like, I trust my doctor. I had a conversation with my doctor. I was like, there's too much information out there. I trust you. What should I do? He said, do the non-adjuvant version. That is the one that is deemed safe. It was, tested the most. And I was like, done, went back. This is the one I want. And I did it. Okay. So point being is at the end of the day, there's a lot of noise out there. You have to figure out who you're going to trust, but make it a credible source, right? Like do your research. A lot of us go to our doctors because we're like, well, my doctor told me that like my labs are fine and that I don't need HRT and they don't believe in it. And I hate hearing that. I don't believe in it. It's like, I don't believe women should have to feel good. Women should have to suffer. Yeah, that makes sense. But yet men can get Viagra, no problem, when they have like erectile dysfunction. So like where's sexual health for women? I don't know. I regress. Anyways, you have to trust that source. So you can challenge it if you trust it. So for many women that I speak to anyways, and in our community, they're like, have to start to part ways from their doctor because they don't trust their doctor anymore. And it's not that their doctors are like evil people. It's just that they don't know what they don't know. And this has been a very underrepresented group of women. Women in general are underrepresented. And then the medical industry and research only started in the 1990s for women in menopause. So like we're way behind in that and we know things now. We've debunked shit that we didn't know before. And not all doctors are on board to learning about it. And not all doctors have the time or the bandwidth to spend on, staying up to date with the trends. So it can feel very confusing where there is someone that you've always trusted that now you're trying to second guess. And it is very overwhelming. So stick to someone who has the credibility, who has the experience. They don't have to necessarily have gone through it, but to really understand what this demographic is going through, they have to have been submerged in it for sure and seen a lot of women go through it. So like, for example, every single woman, we've transformed probably over 1,000 bodies to date as we're heading into our 6th year of business. And I will say that every single woman clinically comes to me with zero motivation, but I can't actually put that in a lab and say, yep, clinically, yep, on a lab, we see zero motivation. But I will say after working with thousands of women, they'll say to me, I don't have any motivation. I've lacked joy for all the things I've lacked. I have no libido. And it is so overwhelming that I have analysis paralysis and I don't do anything. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I hear. This is what I see like 10 out of 10 times. And it doesn't have to be like this. So when we start a woman in our program and we're trying to quiet the overwhelm, we give them like actionable bite-sized goals. So if they're starting with nothing, it's like, yes, I want you moving. But the next question is, do I have to move 10,000 steps a day? No, you don't have to fucking walk 10,000 steps a day. If you're only used to working 2,000 because you work at a desk job, I'm not going to make you walk 10,000 on week 1 because you're going to quit. So the real question is like, what can you commit to today? That's what I want you to think about right now, wherever you are. If you're driving, you're listening in your car, you're walking, just think like, what is one thing that I can commit to right now every single day? Is it I'm going to drink more water? Is it I'm going to get more steps? Notice I haven't put a parameter on what that looks like yet. Okay. Is it I'm going to become more active and just like join a gym, start strength training? Is it I'm going to start tracking my food? Is it I'm going to start listening to, Elise's stuff, maybe join our free Facebook group, get some stuff there? Like, what can you do? Because for the woman that comes to me and wants this whole transformation where they're like, I want to, want to lose 20 pounds and I want to like get ripped. And they're like, and I want it in 90 days. I'm like, well, that's not going to happen because real transformation takes identity shifting as well and changing mindsets that, that you have taught yourself so many things that are not true over the last 40, 50 years that I have to debunk. I can't do that in 90 days. And they're like, well, forget it. And I'm like, well, then you're likely never going to change, right? You go out and you do a quick fix and then you get frustrated when that shit doesn't work. So you really have to ask yourself, like, what can you commit to? Okay. How much of your life are you willing to change? And I've always said this is that the version of me now 7 years ago the version of me like 6, 7 years ago that made this huge transformation physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, if I had her right beside me looking at me today, okay, like if she was here, I can actually see her. I can see her in her swollen clothing, thinking that she was doing things that were working that weren't. And she'd look at me and she'd be like, you're fucking jacked. You've got tattoos all over the place. You seem really comfortable with yourself. That seems impossible for where I am now. And I'm like, yo, bitch, this took 6 years. This took time. Like, you're not going to get here like in 90 days. You're not even going to get here in a year. It's going to take time because what got you here won't get you there. So you have to start changing your mindset with this overwhelm is that like you can get yourself anywhere you want. It is how long are you willing to release the urgency for? Are you looking in months? Are you looking in years? Are you looking in decades? What do you want to do? And how far do you want to go? And how much are you willing to change? And you might say like, yeah, I want to be the woman. A lot of women say this to me. I want to be the woman who can like wake up in the morning and just have like a flow of strategy that she does every single day. And this is such a great goal. Women will say to me, I just want to like wake up in the morning and have daily commitments to myself that include like exercise and nutrition, but I'm not going to be obsessed about them. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of where I am right now, right? I wake up in the morning, I practice gratitude, I meditate, I go to the gym, I walk my dog. Of course I see my kids in between all those things. I work a job that I truly love and I'm passionate about. I try to take breaks. I try to have balance. I see friends when I can. I have structure in my meals. I kind of know always what I'm eating. I know how to eat without overeating. I know how to maintain my figure. I know how to have fun and let loose without kind of going off the rails and feeling like I'm starting over again. And sometimes I forget that like not many people know what that feels like because they're in a spiral of like, I don't know what to fucking eat today. I'm going to skip breakfast because I'm not even hungry. And then I heard I should eat protein. So I'm just going to eat a ton of chicken today. And I heard that I, need to wear a weighted vest. So I'm just going to strap a weighted vest on me for the rest of the day. And I heard I really, have to skip that morning coffee. So like I haven't had coffee yet. So I got a massive headache and I hate the world. Like you just kind of don't have anything that sticks because you're trying to do everything. So pick one actionable item that you can do today. And again, the easiest thing to do start is with movement, I think, because this movement is one of the things that most people stop doing. And it is a non-negotiable. If you want to be a human in this world and you want to live with the most vitality possible, if you want to have the best anti-aging secret of all time, if I could bottle up something that is going to help reduce your stress, reduce your anxiety, increase your self-esteem, decrease your risks of cardiovascular diseases, of dying from like something as simple as breaking something, it's exercise. And it's something that you're going to have to do for the rest of your life, whether you want to or not. So like in my brain of like where to start, I'm like, start with something that you will have to do for the rest of your life. You don't have to count macros for the rest of your life. You don't have to fucking eat the same amount of protein every fucking day for the rest of your life. You don't have to practice gratitude every fucking day. You don't have to get 10,000 steps in a day, but you have to have movement. I'm sorry, but you have to have movement. And so many women have spent so many decades because you grew up in the 80s and 90s and, telling us that fat makes you fat and all these things and carbs are bad, that you're just like leaning on nutrition to maintain your weight. And that works until you hit 40 or 45 and you're like, holy fuck, I don't know what happened. I'll tell you what happened. You're under muscled. So the best place to start, the easiest place to start, just get out there and walk, just move, just breathe. Once you do that, go to the next level. Okay. Join a gym, join a class, do a class online, follow some of my work. I've got free workouts I can give you as well. I'll drop the link here for my workouts. You can grab it. It's a 6-week, sample plan that you can follow. So just do something. And then from there, build on there. Where do you want to go? Come see me when you've had some type of automation where you're like, now I'm ready to go. Or if you're someone that's just like, I just want a professional. I want someone to help me. I want someone to get me out of this mundane lifestyle that I've created for myself that is so unhealthy. Then you're really going to need the help of a coach. And I will link that below of our program details so that you can kind of get more information there. It's on our website. All right. I hope this helps quiet some of that overwhelm. I will do another podcast where I will dive into some of the current trends and what you're seeing out there, which can be confusing as fuck. But I wanted to just kind of keep this super simple. Now, if you're someone that is like, I already kind of do that, at least, like, what else can I do? Then just pick one actionable item, because what got you here won't get you there. If you're stuck here, you've got to change what you're doing, because whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. All right. Until the next time.